My name is Luigi Tondo. I'm 54. I'm living in Sweden right now. I'm an engineer.
What kind of engineer?
I'm an engineer in electronics, but I work with software.
Mm-hmm.
What else can I say about myself? I'm
Well,
married with one young child.
Yes.
And
And we met on the internet in 2016.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
I was doing research to try and identify the birth parents of a friend, and you were, I think, the first person who helped me, and subsequently you introduced me to your father, Vito Antonio Tondo.
That's right.
Who was extremely interested in what we were doing, and who I could say was at the beginning of our project, our present project. And he introduced me to all sorts of people. He introduced me to our project partner, Marina Lambertino, who was director of a local magazine at the time,
right,
called Lo Stradone. He introduced me also to the Fondazione Casillo, and he introduced me to the Centro Italo-Venezolano, and gave me great encouragement. Your family took me under their wing, you might say.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's true. Today, the project has become a project which is not only genealogical, but which aims to promote the writing of the history of emigration from Curato. And we are followed by a scientific monitoring committee composed of Italian and French historians. And we were recently encouraged to find that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation is interested in developing what they call turismo delle radici, genealogical tourism, if you like.
This is the heart of the Masseria's courtyard. This side here was occupied originally by the family of the Masseria managers.
Yes.
So to say, while on the other three sides, originally they were places for storing food or for the animals.
Mm-hmm.
Is there only one yard like this one, or is there another one?
This is the only yard, the real yard, but there is much more that is not completely restored. Actually, it's kind of in need of restoration.
How all his family gets on together?
Pretty well. I mean, of course, it's not always easy to
Sometimes we have big party with all people together.
There is actually a kind of regulation for that. So
yes.
People are supposed to notify other people when they try to use for parties or things like that,
yes.
or big dinners or things like that.
And how many people are there in this big party? The family?
It's difficult to count. It's, as I said, there are 11 apartments. Each one belongs to a different family. But it's difficult now because maybe the original owner of the apartment has left it to children. They haven't divided it or assigned it to one or the other. So it's they use it as they please. You can see that the two wells. This is kind of unique. It's so these wells are excavated in the rock, of course, and they collect water from the roofs because, as everywhere else in Puglia, there is not enough water. Until a couple of years ago, everybody was still using only the water from these wells. So when the places were restored and these apartments were created, some tanks were mounted to take water from from the wells into the apartments
Right.
to have running water.
I see.
And this ended a couple of years ago when we managed to connect the Masseria with an aqueduct.
I see.
It's been a while since last time I opened this door.
When was the Masseria built, in actual fact?
There is an inscription saying that it was terminated, the construction terminated in 1874, but we suspect some parts of it are older actually. This part has been used for agricultural purposes.
So do you call this, what, a workshop? Or?
Now it's a kind of workshop, but
Yeah.
originally it was a stable. So this part belongs to my father, and this was not restored to be transformed into apartments because we didn't need that. But this is actually the part that could be transformed into something for increasing the capacity of the Masseria to hosting people and events and things. So this is a kind of internal courtyard created by the fact that the roof fell off. There was a roof here.
I see.
Yes, and also here, the roof was actually taken away because it was in danger of being falling down.
I see.
But these are very, very big surfaces
Yes.
that could be used. Some part of it is built in stone, so it's older and more robust. And another part was constructed with this kind of stone. This is limestone. This is much cheaper. This is much easier to work with, and of course, it's not as strong as this kind of wall. These are stone excavated locally,
Right.
much more robust. You can see also the upper part is limestone.
Yes.
And the basement is
So the upper part was added on at
probably,
some point.
yes, or even during the construction, probably they realized that they needed more space, or maybe they decided to extend. You can see here also quite well. So that part is kind of older, and the roof still stands actually. And the basement is in stone, and the roof, of course, is limestone. That's much easier to create the volta
Right.
like this. But this part instead, it's maybe a later construction. But this was already like this when the Masseria was bought by my family. In the 30s, in the beginning of the 30s. The Masseria was bought from a family called Perfetti. And these Perfetti are not local people. They actually, I think, originate from Florence. One of in this family was the one that isolated this variety of olives in use already in Corato and named it as Coratina, which is now one of the leading produce of this area, Coratina olive oil. So there is a connection between this kind of variety of olives and this particular place. So these are the parts that could actually be transformed and restored into something new.
And how do you see this transformation then?
I think this Masseria holds a kind of beauty and aura that I lived as a child, living my summer vacation here, and I'd be delighted to share this with way more people. I think the future of this place is to be a place of beauty, a place of harmony and bliss, and also culture, and also discovery of the past, because this talks about the way of life of a century or 2 centuries ago. And so, of course, I'm not idolizing the past. It's not everything from the past is good. It's not, I'm not saying that, but there are many things that we can live again and resurrect from oblivion in this place. I think this is a place that inspires people, inspires a sense of continuity with the past, but also trying to bring back things that we really want to keep instead of just letting them go.
So this place could be a kind of pole of cultural interest, including classrooms, a library, a museum, a language laboratory, an art gallery,
Right.
this sort of thing.
People that come here, they have, in my imagination, they have a cultural drive that can take many forms. It can be naturalistic, because we have the Parco dell'Alta Murgia, which starts right here and includes the Castel del Monte, and you can see this fantastic piece of art from the Masseria. It can be architectural, because of the things that you find here, not only in this Masseria, but all the other Masseria that are, in a way, in a network. So you can visit them going from one to another. It can be food interest. It can be like culinary experience, not necessarily on the gourmet side, but here, this is a place where food was produced. My grandfather was able to do mozzarella, scamorza, was able to do cheese, was able to produce a lot of stuff, and we still produce olive oil here. When I still was a child, we still did some wine for the family. We still had some grapes at that time, and we still have some machines for that. I believe that somebody around the world is still interested in knowing how this works, how in doing it, and not only maybe learning how to do a specific recipe, but also see how the food is produced, maybe participate in harvesting olives, and everything that comes with that. It can be tourism related, exactly as you said, to finding roots. It can be related to simply enjoying the beauty of the place, and there are many aspects to it. It can be linguistic, of course, and we, as in the rest of Italy, we have these 2 levels here. There's the Italian language, and there is the dialect, and there is much to do also on that front to keep memory of these informal languages.
Well, definitely, and you know, in the course of my genealogical research, I've met any number of people who would like to come to Corato to see where their ancestors lived, worked, were baptized, married, where they were buried. This is very often a strong desire on the part of the descendants of emigrants. And I think more and more there's a realization that the people who left Corato, often in difficult circumstances, they took the bull by the horns and worked very hard, and you know, their descendants today have pride in what their ancestors did, and I think this is probably what is behind the Ministry of Foreign Affairs program to do with Turismo delle Radici.
So this is the most panoramic part of the property.
Yes.
This empty land, this belongs to my father,
Right.
and also this olive trees where we stand now, right now, olive groves, belongs to him.
Isn't that a vineyard over there?
Yes, but this is, I think, grapes that are not for wine but for eating.
Oh,
Si trova dentro l'area dock del Castello del Monte. Ci sono due tipi di uva che si coltivano in questa zona, specifici di questa zona. Uno si chiama Bombino Nero e l'altro si chiama Nero di Troia. Sono due vitigni, come diciamo in italiano, che danno un vino molto corposo. La vocazione di questa terra è la vigna, il vino, l'uva. Avevo fatto un progetto per impiantare in questa terra libera vigne. Si possono produrre 50.000 bottiglie di vino di alta qualità in questa terra. Perché in tutto sono 10 ettari di terra libera.
Ah sì, tu l'hai fatto?
Ho fatto un progetto per farlo.
Ah sì.
Sì,
Ah.
sì. Allora però le tecniche di coltivazione erano un po' diverse, si arava il terreno molto di più, invece adesso si cerca di lasciarlo così com'è, senza passare con l'aratro, senza rompere la superficie, perché invece viene tagliata l'erba e questo perché bisogna limitare l'erba, perché l'erba assorbe molta umidità dalla terra. Però anche quando se si ara si crea molta polvere e l'acqua può evaporare dal suolo, dalla terra. Questi sono alberi di fico che mio padre ha piantato forse una quindicina
Sì.
di anni fa e sono di tipi diversi.
Sì.
È sempre molto bello durante l'estate assaggiare tutti questi fichi direttamente dall'albero. Questa è anche una cosa che fa parte della mia esperienza. Durante l'estate, alla fine dell'estate ci sono molti frutti che maturano e mangiare la frutta dall'albero direttamente diciamo, ha un particolare piacere.